Okay, I'm back with another video. So, this is something else that I wanted to talk about. I'm super talky and chatty today, aren't I? um, I mean, if I change my jacket, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's the same day. But I'm not doing that. So, there was something else that I was thinking about a couple of days ago when it came to presentation. And there are a few different content creators that I adore, that I follow online for the content, obviously, but I like their delivery, I like their message. Um, but something stood out to me, which was the stark difference between how men present and how women present, and how that is correlated with success. So I did my own case study or experiment, if you will, as I mentioned in my last video. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. I talked about how I've had my YouTube channel for years. Like I started it in 2019. Now, granted, I have not been super consistent with it. Like I go through spurts where I'm like, gotta get the content out there, gotta make a video, and I'll have a schedule and everything, and then life will happen and it will just fall to the wayside. It could be a couple of months, it could be a couple of years. I mean, we're in 2026 right now. Maybe in 2030, when I'm watching this video, I'm gonna be like, wow, that was 2026. So my hey future self. But so anyway, refocus. So I understand the concept of needing to be consistent to the point where people are able to see you, and that's how your channel will grow over time. Because obviously I want my channel to grow. I'm not just using this as a public diary. Like, I'm talking about things that I want to talk about. I've watched people grow, like that I started, either I subscribe to them or I follow them, and when I follow them, they're at like maybe 5K, 20K, and then it seems like a couple of months go by. It could be years, I don't know. But then all of a sudden they're at like 50K or a million or 100,000. And so I pay attention to that. But most importantly, what I pay attention to is the difference between male content creators and women content creators. I don't know why I'm saying creators like that, like a freaking robot, like AI. um the men are able to kind of just show up. They're able to just like throw a hat on, a t-shirt, maybe even, I mean, not that they look unkept or anything like that, but with women, I noticed that we just have to do more. And before I lost my train of thought, previously, I was talking about my own experiment that I did. So there were times when I first started my channel, I was doing everything. I was doing get ready with me and, makeup. I was coming on already done. I was coming on, caring about the background and how this was, and the lighting and editing and all of those things. And it started getting overwhelming to me. And while there were some videos that at that time the views were extremely high. There's some videos that I have on my channel that are still some of my highest viewed long form videos. I'm not talking about the short form, because the shorts, once I started doing those, that's when I was like, really? Like, that's how many people watching me? Um, so I noticed that, like, the videos where I have makeup on or just like dressed up really cute tend to get more views than, me just being plain Jane. And the reason why it bothered me was because, like, it takes effort. And I'm not saying that I'm a lazy person. I mean, I'm a Taurus, so there's part of me that's a little lazy. I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes, especially with how life goes, I don't necessarily have time to put on a full face when the thought pops into my head to do a video. And there's been times where I've had to stop working, go do my makeup real quick, find an outfit, um, record the video, and then go back to work. I work from home, so I don't need to be full face all the time. Um, and that kind of bothers me a little bit because I feel like it takes away from my ability to just show up. And I'm not saying that. I understand that the, you are not able to just show up places. People are going to judge you just like how they judge you in person. They're going to judge you online. And it just makes me wonder, like, you know, is what I'm saying important enough to where people are finding value in it other than me? Like, because I could think my mind is brilliant and I just want to talk about things that's, in my head, but people don't really care about that unless I look a certain way. So that doesn't feel good either, because then it makes you wonder, like, okay, maybe you're not that freaking interesting, or maybe you're not the things that you think you are. Um, so yeah, it just makes me wonder a little bit. Um, why is it that men can just show up? I don't know if that has anything to do with just how society is in general. There's more pressure on women to give more aesthetically, you know, to be more. Not only do you have to sound intelligent, be intelligent, but you also have to look pretty. Because I don't want to say look the part, because we know intelligence also has a different look. Like, supposed to have, like, these aren't the intelligent glasses, but gotta have some glasses on. um, there's just so many different stereotypes that come with just being a part of society. And then I feel like the online community is a part of society, or a microcosm of society, but it's also its own world at the same time. Like, the things that are okay online aren't necessarily okay in the real world. And you have to be able to know how to pivot between the two. So yeah, that was just my observation of, I'm just gonna continue to do my videos. Like, if I feel like dressing up, then I will. If I feel like popping some lashes on, I will. If I feel like, putting some red lipstick on, if I feel like I'm just gonna be plain face, natural face, like, I'm gonna do that too. But the most important thing I'm going to do is just record. That's the promise that I'm making to myself. And I know it sounds like super corny, but I'm just being vulnerable with y'all, at least trying to be, because I come on here sometimes and I'm very like, I have a goal and a plan, and I'm like, okay, execute. We're doing it this way. But this video, in addition to the videos I did previous, are a little bit more candid, less scripted, more relaxed. I'm even in my bedroom, y'all. So anyway, that's it. Video is over. Catch you in the next one.